I am Shivaji Bhaskar, Faculty of Russian at the School of Foreign Languages, IGNOU. I welcome you all to this course. Basics of Russian Communication Skills Part 1. As you know that in the previous module, we have been discussing about various aspects of the case system of Russian. Likewise, accordingly, we have been discussing about a text of Russian where we will find different kinds of constructions of sentences belonging to various cases of Russian. At present, we are discussing the case system which is known as Tvarichalny Padyesh or the instrumental case. So the title of the text is Nasha Babushka means our grandmother. If you remember that in this text, which is very important because it has a noun, a word babushka, which is very important for the Russian culture. Nasha babushka means our grandmother. Сегодня 8 марта, Международный день женщин. Я со своим младшим братом решили поехать к бабушке, поздравить ее. Бабушка живет в деревне одна со своей помощницей. Можно было поехать туда поездом или автобусом. Мы решили поехать поездом. Мы решили поехать на поезде, потому что, во-первых, это будет гораздо быстрее, всего 2 часа, и во-вторых, поезд более удобный вид транспорта. Мы вышли из дома рано утром. Бабушка была очень рада, когда увидела нас. So in these particular passages, we have found that boys from town, they travel to greet her. They travel to greet their grandmother on the day of International Women's Day. It is, as the International Women's Day is very important festival in Russia, that is why it is celebrated everywhere. Now we will analyze the text. If you see certain constructions like Мы вышли из дома рано утром, here there is a construction of the verb выйти. In past form it is вышли for plural because мы вышли. So we left or we went out from the house рано утром, early in the morning. Бабушка была очень рада. Grandmother was really happy. Когда увидела нас, when she saw us. Here there are certain constructions which we use for day-to-day expressions like вставать рано утром, to get up early in the morning. Выйти из дома рано утром, to leave the house early in the morning. Likewise, there is an expression бабушка была очень рада, когда увидела нас. So, the grandmother was really very happy when she saw us. Это была большой и приятный сюрприз для нее. So, это была большой, it was a big and приятный сюрприз and a pleasant surprise for her. So, surprise, whenever we use this expression in Russian, it can be clubbed with any other nouns and adjectives like большой, приятный сюрприз. Likewise, we have certain other constructions of many different style which belongs to many cases of Russian. Then the next line is она сразу начала готовить завтрак. Готовить что? So, готовить means to prepare. Завтрак, обед, ужин. Готовить, breakfast, prepare lunch, prepare dinner. So like this you can also replace it with the other words and make your own sentences. Then, когда узнала, что мы еще не завтракали. When she got to know that we didn't have the breakfast. So, завтракать in past form for plural завтракали. И вот через 15 минут. Here you can also see an expression which is used in genitive, через. After 15, when we do numeral countings and etc. in genitive, минута changes into minut. 15 минут. Завтрак был уже готов. Мы ели суп с грибами. So, whenever we are using the construction мы ели from the verb есть, to eat. Мы ели. In past form, we ate or we had soup with mushrooms. Chlieb s varenium, bread with jam. Suppose if you want to say bread with butter, it should be chlieb s maslam. Likewise, you can also use other nouns if you want to change. Yeli raznie frukti. Had raznie means different varieties of fruit. Конфеты, пили кофе с молоком, ели мороженое. Конфеты is candies, pili coffee. So, pili is from the verb peach, which means to drink. In past form for plural, pili. Мы pili. Coffee с молоком. So, coffee with milk. Coffee с молоком. Suppose if you want to replace coffee with tea, it would be chai с молоком. But we also have construction in Russian if you want to say coffee without milk, tea without milk, then it would be coffee без without, malaka, chai без malaka, like this. And then yeli marozhennaya, yeli ate ice cream from the word marozh, maroz changes into from the word maroz. Posle, zavtraka. After using this expression posle, we use the genitive. So that is why posle zavtrak changes into zavtraka. After the breakfast, muis bratam, we with brother. It could have been yas bratam, we shall pagulyach. I with my brother, I with brother or along with brother went outside to walk around. Мы долго ходили по деревне. So we went for a long, долго for a long time. Ходили по деревне, гуляли в саду. Гулять means to walk around. Гуляли past tense, so we walked around. Sad means garden. In preposition, when we use verb, changes into sadu. Kopalis, rikia. Kopatsa means to swim. In past form, kopalis for plural, rikia. Rika means river. Во время нашей прогулки мы познакомились с местными жителями. Во время, during our walk, we познакомились, we acquainted with с местными жителями, with local people or local residents. Житель means resident. So, разговаривали с ними по разным темам. We talked with them on different, tema is topic, so it's a plural по разным темам, on different topics. Мне было очень интересно беседовать с ними. I found it very interesting. It was very interesting for me to discuss with them. И я много узнал о деревенской жизни. И я много узнал о деревенской жизни. And I got to know a lot about the village life. Что мне особенно понравилось в деревне? What did I find interesting, especially in the village, is это ее чистый воздух, clean air, широкие поля, wide fields, зеленый лес, green jungle or forest, красивая прозрачная река and beautiful clean sparkling river and clean sparkling river. И самое главное, простые добрые люди. And the most important is, it's simple, kind-hearted, simple, kind people. So here you have seen the construction where we are using the adjectives like чистый воздух. So here the adjective is чистый. Широкие поля in plural. Поле, it's a neuter. We have made it the plural. Широкие поля. So широкие is the adjective. Зеленый лес, green forest. So зеленый is another adjective which we have used, and красивая прозрачная река. Красивая, прозрачная, both are adjective for the noun река, which means river. И самое главное, простые, добрые люди. So простые, добрые, they are also form of adjective in plural for the plural form of человек, which is люди. Вернулись мы в бабушкин дом. So we came back or we returned to our grandmother's house. 2 часа at 2. Очень Голодные, very hungry. So голодный means hungry. Очень голодные. Очень голодные, it is both of them. So both of them are very hungry. So they came back after 2 hours. Обед был уже готов. So the lunch was already ready. На первое был суп с мясом. So here again you can see constructions of the tворительный where we are using the construction with с. So soup is soup с мяса. Мясо changes into мясом. На второе котлеты с жареной. Жареная картошка changes into жареной картошкой because again we are using the construction with с of творительный. Then зеленым луком. It is again with с зеленым луком. А на третье салат с разными сладкими фруктами. Here again salad с разными сладкими фруктами, which means with different sweet fruits in plural again. So here you can see most of the constructions which we are using in the text belong to tворительный only. You can also underline all such constructions when you talk to your parents, when you discuss the nuances of the grammar of Russian of творительный with your family and friends. Then обед был действительно очень вкусный. The lunch was very tasty. После обеда я хотел покататься на лодке. So here after again the same expression which we have used in the genitive после чего? После обеда. After the lunch. Я хотел from хотеть which means to want. In past form хотел to want. I wanted покататься на лодке. To ride a boat. Покататься на лодке. Лодка means boat. Then брат сразу согласился моим предложением. Сразу согласиться. Again it is a verb which is widely used in the творительный падеж with construction с. С кем, с чем. С кем. Мой changes into моим предложением. So с кем, чем. And here you have these pronouns. Мой changes into моим, предложение changes into предложением. Так как он любит ловить рыбу. As he loves to do fishing. Река тут очень спокойная, вода удивительно чистая. So the river here is really quiet. The water is surprisingly clean. Брату повезло. So here in this construction you can see the adjectives like спокойная. Какая река? Спокойная река. Какая вода? Удивительно чистая вода. So here these are certain constructions where we are using the question какой, какая, какое, какие, like which you have just learnt in this module as well. And whenever you want to put the construction with s, it would automatically change into the творительный. Брату повезло. Кому повезло? Брату. So it is a construction of dative. Он сразу поймал несколько рыб. Две большие, три маленькие. So he found or he got a few fishes, two big, three small, like this. Он был очень доволен. He was very satisfied. Suppose if you want to use this word доволен in other gender like feminine, then it would be она довольна. Они довольны. And for singular masculine it would be доволен. Был доволен и я. Река со своей необыкновенной красотой произвела на меня глубокие впечатления. So река, the river, with its all extraordinary beauty, произвела на меня глубокие впечатления. Instilled in me such deep insights. Мы попрощались с нашей бабушкой. So we said goodbye. In other form, it is actually we parted with our grandmother. And обещать. Обещать means to promise. Кому? Обещали ей, что скоро вернемся к ней. That we will be back to her soon. So skora is an expression which is used to indicate soon. Очень скоро, very soon. So these are certain constructions which you have found in this text which we use to describe various cases of the Russian grammar, and More importantly, in this particular text, we have used many constructions where you will see the sentences and adjectives, noun, etc. belonging to the instrumental case. I hope all of you must have enjoyed the text. We shall be discussing about various words and expressions which have been used in this text. Alright, now let's pay attention to a few new words which we have learned in this module. So the new words are помощница, гораздо быстрее, всего, более удобный вид транспорта, комфортно, сюрприз, варенье, гулять, купаться в реке, etc. Now let's understand the meaning of these words and expressions. Помощница means maid or housekeeper. Гораздо быстрее means much faster. Быстро, the comparative form of быстро is быстрее. Всего, in all, just. Более удобный вид транспорта. So means a more comfortable means of transport. For comfortable in Russian we also have удобный as well as комфортный. So you can use both of them. Surprise means surprise. Варенье means jam. Гулять, погулять means to go for a walk. Купаться в реке means to take bath or swim in a river. Прогулка means stroll. Местные жители means local residents. Прозрачный means transparent. Простые добрые люди means simple kind people. Бабушкин дом means grandmother's house. Жареная картошка means fried potatoes. Предложение means proposal or offer, and ловить, поймать means to catch. So there are certain nouns, certain expression words as well as verbs which we have used in the text. You can use all of them, and you can also prepare a text of your own in order to understand Russian language, its nuances, its aspects of grammar really well. Now we shall go ahead and pay attention to a few more new different aspects of the Tvarichelny. So now we shall discuss about nouns in plural, answering the question kем and чем. So nouns, as we already know, masculine, feminine and neuter. Now we shall take them in plural. In nominative, the question is always кто. So suppose if I have the noun отец, now I want to change it into plural of Tvarichelny. So отец would change into отцами. If it is singular, it is отцом. Engineer, инженером, no. But if we want to change it into plural, it would be инженерами. Likewise, vrat changes into vrachami, student changes into studentами, сын changes into сыновьями, брат changes into братьями, друг changes into друзьями, сосед changes into соседами, гость changes into гостями, девушка changes into девушками, студентка changes into студентками, подруга changes into подругами, сестра changes into сестрами, учительница changes into учительницами, школьница changes into школьницами, and мать changes into матерями. Дочь likewise also changes as дочерями. Человек, the plural is люди, and in instrumental the plural would be людьми. Ребенок, the plural is дети, and in instrumental it would be детьми. So here you can see that how different the plural forms of nouns in instrumental are as if we compare it to the nominative. So that is why the only task which remains with you is to memorize them by heart and use them as many as times in your sentences or in text or in passages so that you don't forget them. Now let's go ahead and pay attention to a few more such words. So the question we are going to have is что, which means inanimate. Dom changes into damami, город changes into городами, сад changes into садами, park changes into парками, словарь changes into словарями, словарь changes into словарями, музей changes into музеями, комната changes into комнатами, стена changes into стенами, машина changes into машинами, деревня changes into деревнями, деревня changes into деревнями, Auditoria changes into auditoriami. Akno changes into aknam. Pismo changes into pismam. Upshajichem changes into upshajichem. Uprajnenia changes into uprajneniam. And jengi, which is always in plural, changes into jingame. So these kind of expressions you need to always remember in order to use them correctly in Tvarichili. Now, in order to understand it fully, let's pay attention to the activity. So let's pay attention to the model first. Achiets, rasga varivat, skem. So here we have the plural of sinavya, and we already know sinavya changes into sinavyam. Achiets, rasga varivat, skem, sinavyami. Malinki brat igrait skem, sistri changes in sisterami, siostrami. Malinki brat igrait siostrami. Za, the mami nakhojitsa rika. So like these constructions, you can also change the plural forms from nominative into the plural forms of nouns in Tvarichili. I hope the concept is absolutely clear to you all. You can also change them as per the rules of the grammar. Now let's take the next one. Perid. Komnati changes into komnatam. Nakhojitsa dlinni koridor. Zapshi jichme yes rinak. Mama igraitsa jichmi. Uchichilnitsa rasgavarivasa shkolnitsame. So like this you can solve the exercises as well. Now let's pay attention to the third one. Mejdu saddami yes ozera. Fourth one is mui khajili pa koridoru katori nakhojitsa mejdu auditorme. And the fifth one is za zdanyami stina. So like this you can also change them as and when required as per the context of the Russian grammar. Now let's take adjectives in plural answering the question kem and chem in Tvarichili. Usually in this case the interrogative word is kakimami. So usually in this case the interrogative word is kakimi. So in nominative the question is kakiye for plural. Novie, starie, zvestnie, kharoshie, ruski, etc. It changes kem and chem. Novie друзьями, старыми женщинами, известными артистами, хорошими студентами, русскими учеными for kem. Now let's see for chem. Новыми местами, старыми деревнями, известными районами, хорошими книгами, русскими песнями. Like this, you can also change them from kakiye to kem and chem. I hope the concept is clear. Please pay attention to the ending of the nouns and adjectives and follow while using them in your own Russian sentences or text. Now let's go ahead and pay attention to a few new exercises. Let's pay attention to the model now. Na vystavke zrichili razgovarivali s. In bracket we have maladiye khudoshnike. So it is came. Na vystavke zrichili razgovarivali s maladimi khudoshnike. Came с молодыми художниками. So молодые люди познакомились с иностранные девушки. So иностранные девушки here again plural changes into молодые люди познакомились с иностранными девушками. So in the first one it was на выставке зрители разговаривали с молодыми художниками. In the exhibition the viewers or the audience they talk to the young artist. In the second one is молодые люди познакомились с иностранными девушками. So young people they got acquainted with international or foreigner girls. Like this you can also use them in your own sentences. Now let's go ahead and pay attention to the next sentence. За старые районы находятся новые районы города. As we know the za, whenever we use this expression, it is Tvarichilni. So starые районы in plural changes into the plural of Tvarichilni. За старыми районами находятся новые районы города. So behind the old regions of the city, the new regions are located or situated. Перед дорогие гостиницы находится универмаг. So in front of the expensive hotels, the Univermag is like the supermarket is situated. So перед дорогими гостиницами nagodится univermag. So with the help of such expressions, you can also solve the exercises. Now let's see the exercise. The first one is в парке молодые люди играют с опытными спортсменами. So here you can see that how we are changing the plural form of these adjective and nouns in the sentence. Let's pay attention to the second one. Аспиранты познакомились с известной писательницей, известными писательницами. Этот лингвист занимается современными индийскими языками. So here современные индийские языки changes into современными индийскими языками. За новые машины стояли старые машины. За новыми машинами стояли старые машины. Перед старыми общежитиями находится банк и почта. Перед старыми общежитиями находится банк и почта. So like this, you can also solve these exercises while using the rules of the grammar for Tvarichilni while changing the nominative plurals into the plurals of Tvarichilni. I hope the concept is absolutely clear to you all now. So now let's pay attention to a few new words which we have learned with the help of these exercises. Zrichil means spectator. Zrichil, spectator, you can also use as people who came for visiting the exhibitions, like the audience or people who came to watch a particular show. So likewise, you can also use this word. Then znakomitsa, which means to be acquainted with someone. Then gastinitsa, hotel. However, in these days, hotel is also being used very oftenly, but this is a traditional word in Russian which we use to indicate hotel. So gastinitsa, from the word goist. Univermag. Actually, it is a combination of two different words, universalny magazine, which is known as univermag, which means departmental store in Russian. Then linguist, which means linguist. So after knowing all these new words, you can also make your own sentences while using these new words which you have learned in this module. Now let's go ahead and pay attention to the new aspect of Tvarichilni. We shall be discussing about pronouns now. As in rest of the cases we have seen, in this case as well, pronouns play a very important role. So the pronouns in plural answering the question came and came. First we shall take possessive pronoun in plural. In nominative it is chei, so it is mai, twai, nashi, vashi, swai, etc. In came and came in plural in Tvarichilni it should be moi changes into mai mi, twai changes into twai mi, nashi changes into nashi mi, vashi changes into vashi mi, swai changes into swai mi. If you want to put one noun along with the pronoun, then it should be for moi, for mai, maimi siostrami, tvaimi druzyami, nashimi bratyami, vashimi radichilimi, swaimi znakomimi. And if it is chem, which means inanimate, let's see what kind of changes do we see. Maimi komnatami, tvaimi knigami, nashimi dhammami, vashimi karandashami, swaimi mashinami, etc. But we have to understand that possessive pronouns yivo, io, ik, they never change. They don't go under any change. So we have to always keep that in mind. Alright, now let's go ahead and pay attention to the demonstrative pronouns. So demonstrative pronouns in plural for the question che, like echi and che, it should change into came and chem as echimi lujami, chemi studentami, echimi knigami, chemi karandashami, etc. So here you have clearly seen that how the pronouns in plural, whether they are personal pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, etc., are changing. These are very important aspects of the Russian grammar. In order to understand it fully, that is why we recommend you all to prepare and learn by heart. I hope you all enjoyed this session as well. In this module, we have discussed nuances of the Tvarichilni Padyash. In the upcoming module, we shall be discussing it in details and then we will go to greetings in Russian, basic expressions in Russian, etc. Thank you.